The ideal version of that specific person that you have in mind, and that could be anyone, it could be your boss who perhaps you're commanding more respect from, could be your partner or someone that you would like to be your partner, could be friends as well. But the ideal version of people exists right now, the version that you want them to be. Even that random guy at the coffee shop who looked at you sideways, yes, the ideal version of him exists as well. And you see, whether you realize it or not, you're already influencing them, probably in ways that are currently screwing you over right now, without you even realizing it. We're all doing this because we're living life on autopilot, not totally aware of the signals that we're giving off, or the concepts of self that we have that are determining how we influence people in our lives. And I know that many of you will be thinking, well, how can I influence people? I mean, strangers? What about people I've never met? What about people at a distance? That doesn't even make sense, right? Well, relax, because in this video, I'm going to break everything down for you. Not only am I going to show you how you've been unconsciously doing this your whole life, but I'm also going to hand you the keys to unlock the code of commanding the version that you want to see, step by step. Yes, I'm going to give you the steps to achieve this. And I'm going to use a really fun demonstration because, you know, there's no learning without a bit of fun, right? So you're going to want to stick around for this, because it's not what many people think. This isn't about some sort of dark manipulation. This isn't about Jedi mind tricks either. It's about understanding how reality really works, how we decide our experience of reality. We decide the people in it, or the versions of people, the way that they show up for us. And the way that we've been taught has got us believing it completely backwards. I mean, really, this stuff should be taught in the mainstream, in the self-help industry. But the problem is, empowered doesn't feed into the endless cycle of seeking external solutions, and therefore it's not profitable, is it? Effortless transformation is just not profitable. But you know, here on this channel, I'm dedicated to less is more, the lazy approach, or at least I should probably call it the most efficient approach, right? So if you're still here, if you're listening, if you're ready to know how to turn this around realistically, then I'm going to share it all with you here. But you've got to understand that nothing is going to change unless you first understand this one fundamental truth. You're going to keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over again if you don't understand this particular truth here. Because the problem is not people. The problem is not reality itself. The problem is that we're looking at it through the wrong perspective. And so we're stuck in a reality of duality. A lot of you are, right? You see life in duality. You see yourself as separate to everyone and everything around you. That's just the way that we've been taught. We've been conditioned to see it. Seeing everything is happening to us instead of through us. Seeing life as some sort of solid obstruction. It's fixed, you know, because my five senses say it is. It says it's solid and it's fixed, right? And because of that, I believe that it's it. This is it. This is how it's going to be forever. But really, I should be looking at it as a bunch of atoms and particles constantly moving, constantly vibrating, constantly changing and shifting. And this is the illusion that's been screwing you up since day one. This illusion of separation. When we look at life this way and we see that nothing is fixed, particularly people are not fixed. Situations with that specific person that you have at the moment is not fixed. Then you suddenly unlock a wealth of power beneath you, and you can influence or reveal the ideal side of absolutely anyone. Like I say, your specific person for a relationship, your boss, your friends, family members. But you need to grasp this fundamental truth that duality is just an illusion of the physical world, because reality itself is actually interconnected. It's a single ocean where every wave is part of the whole. You are not separate from the people around you. They're not just extras in the movie of your life, like you've been told to believe. They're actually reflecting back to your own inner state. If you change that, then they have to change too. But ignore it if you want to, but you'll end up fighting a battle that you were never meant to fight. And we inadvertently do this all the time. Most people think that, and we've all done this, right? In order to change someone, in order to see a change within them, to have a better relationship with them, we feel like, okay, we need to speak up. We need to do it directly. We need to force them, influence them through our words, through our actions, psychologically manipulating them. And then what happens with that, if our mindset has not shifted and I'm playing all these games, then I'm met with a lot of resistance, chaos, failure, because they're missing the one fundamental factor in all of this, and that is your perception. You can't influence someone to be the best version of themselves if you're still stuck in the mindset that they're a permanent pain in your ass, essentially. That is no different to you expecting a cat to suddenly start barking because you yelled at it long enough. It's just met with too much resistance. It is going against the grain of how creation is made. You see, your perception is what is going to shape your experience of people and the world around you. Your perception tells you if you are empowered in this situation or if you are a victim to this situation. So you better stick with me. If you're ready and unready, it's not even a word, is it? If you're ready to unlock a level of influence that just seems like magic to other people, because trust me, not everyone is prepared to hear this truth. But then again, you guys, I know you're not just anyone. And what I'm about to teach you, as you all know as well, for those of you who've followed my channel for a while, you know, what I share with you has transformed people's lives exponentially. The level of success stories I get, not just my clients, but you at home as well. People who have gotten the relationships that they've wanted and the marriages they've wanted. People who got deals that they thought were impossible, business deals, those who got respect from members and family members that they never thought was even possible. You guys are taking it seriously and you're putting it into action. You are amongst the very few that get it. And that's why I'm going to be sharing more of this deeper stuff with you, because I know you get it. I know you're going to put it to use. So, are you ready? Are you ready to see through this illusion and to start bending and seducing reality to your will? Then let's go for it. Grab yourself a hot drink, sit back, relax. What are you all doing today? Thank you all for your feedback on my last video, by the way. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. And you better get ready in this video because it's going to be fun. And like I say, I'm going to share the steps at the end, but you guys need to understand as well why you're doing all of this too. Otherwise, it's just going to be another thing that you attempt to do the steps without any idea why you're doing it, and it's going to be like, oh, it doesn't work, let me go on to the next hack. There's no point for that. These videos are not for entertainment, they're for education. So you better start sharing your notes in the comments section, because I want to see that you guys have been taking it in and you're here to learn and you're here to change your world, right? So let's do that. This is the place for advanced stuff and advanced people. And that's why those of you who subscribe to my channel, like I say, you are getting so much success. I know that you are all on the road to success, and cheers to you all and your impending successes, no matter where you are on your bridges of events. What is going on with my ability to speak today? It's Friday. That'd be why. Maybe I should change it to another day or something, you know, when you're more awake, like a Monday. Cheers. A little bit on the thirstier side today. So let's begin. I'm going to take you back, not 13 billion years ago, but to a timeless truth that has been whispered through the ages. The fact that we are not separate beings that our five senses would have us believe. We are one. The duality that you're perceiving, like I've mentioned before, the distance and the separation between you and others in this world is merely an illusion crafted by our physical senses in the most dramatic and convincing way. But as the poet Rumi beautifully stated, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. And yet we navigate through life wearing these lenses that absolutely distort our experience of reality. So let me show you. A lot of you were commenting on my little stitch. Some of you thought he was like a Build-A-Bear Stitch. I didn't even know you could do that. I thought it was just building bears for Build-A-Bears. But let's have Stitch in this. Let's have little Dino in this as well. And we're going to be demonstrating, thank you, Thank you. How your perceptions change and shift your reality. And the oneness of everything. You see, if you look at these furry friends of mine, and let's have them represent all the people in the world. You see, they come in different shapes, different colors, different sizes even. You've got one that is Stitch, so he's renowned for his bad temper and his impatience. You've got Dino, who's a little dragon, who's probably a little bit misunderstood, but he's pink and sparkly and all things great. And you've got little Yawny, who is just walking through life half asleep, like a lot of us are after our 9 to 5s. But as you can see, on the surface level, all extremely different. The personality level, unique. Different cultures, different backgrounds. You know, this from the Disney family, this is from the I don't know what family, but anyway, this is a representation of us and how we are all the same within, because inside these 3 lovely cuddly characters is all the same, stuffed with fluff, like Winnie the Pooh, just stuffed with fluff right now. So even though they're individualized, even though they're unique in their own ways, inside, within, they are all one, they are all the same. Just like you and I, we all have the same awareness. We all share in the same pool of consciousness. So at our core of it, we are made of the same energy, the same stardust. Quantum physics tells us that at a subatomic level, particles don't have definite states until they're observed. So it's not just science, it's a hint at the profoundness, the unity of all things. And this is how I want you to start seeing things, because when you see the oneness in everything, you're going to be less inclined to be afraid of reality. You're going to be less inclined to feel like manifesting any outcome with any specific person is some sort of crazy obstacle that is impossible and all the rest of it. It's not at all. It can be very simple. Some of you have actually told me that you find manifesting specific people the easiest thing on earth, but you find money hard to come by. Well, see everything as one. See everything as a part of you. See everything as this bunch of vibrating atoms and particles that are moving gently your way. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that we're all wearing different glasses. We're wearing these invisible glasses that are the lens, metaphorical lens, of our beliefs, assumptions, our experiences, our expectations. You know, not thinking of the funky shades that you see in the 80s movies, although these probably will resemble that. But let me demonstrate, right? So we're all made of the same fluff. And I'm just going to use these 2 to demonstrate a little story for you as to what we're all doing and how we are shaping our reality at the moment, and how you absolutely have the ability to decide which version of people show up for you. My goodness, these lenses are filthy. I haven't worn these for ages, but I'm going to put on. So these are my lenses. These are my lenses of life. These have been shaped from my experiences of life thus far. And this is my lens for relationships, shall we say. So in relationships, because my past experience with my parents, you know, say for example, my father was very hardworking. And so as a child, I perceived that as dad was never around, so men are never really around, I don't feel so safe and secure. Or maybe the father figure is not as emotionally available. Maybe the mother figure is like that too. Maybe they've had high expectations that make you feel that you're conditionally loved, not unconditionally loved, and various things like that. So from that age, particularly 0 to 7, my core concept of self has been built. And I've got these glasses when it comes to relationships. So I perceive relationships and my partners a certain way. Stitch has had a different upbringing, a different childhood, or maybe Stitch has had the same sort of childhood, but Stitch's perception of it and the story he told himself of that childhood is different to mine. That's why you can have siblings actually that have had basically the same upbringing but have very different perceptions. So there's Stitch with his glasses of life. That's his experience of reality. How you doing, mate? They actually look pretty cool on you. So with that in mind, let me paint a little sort of picture. So imagine, for example, we both had a date with Dino. So I'll start off with me. So I'm here with my perception of, right, the guys that I date based on my childhood experiences, the guys that I date are not really emotionally available and they don't prioritize me, you know, right, dad had to work hard, right? So I don't feel prioritized, I don't feel important. So I'm seeing that in all my relationships. So Dino and I are getting on great. When I first meet Dino, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So because I'm acting cool and I'm giving off the cool vibes, Dino's like really drawn into me, chasing me almost. This is how a lot of our relationships start from the get-go. Suddenly when I'm in the relationship and I really like Dino, my concept of self changes and I start to have those doubts and worries filter in because my concept of male-female relationships, say for example in my story, the dynamic of my partner and I is that I don't feel safe and secure and, you know, they're going to prioritize something else. So suddenly Dino's telling me about a business opportunity and that, you know, they're going to get a raise and it's going to require them to be away a bit more, or at least needed, the demands at work is going to be higher. So I'm going to be like, and then I'm going to go and cry into my pillow because the way I've perceived it is they're too busy for me. Oh my God, Dino's at work. He hasn't texted me straight away. I'm not important. I'm not the priority. And I'm going to fixate because of the glasses I'm wearing. That's how I'm seeing everything. It's tainted. It's filtered with that story. And I'm going to be looking for more and more. My confirmation bias is going to kick in. I'm going to look at everything that Dino does and I'm going to be like, I'm not the priority. I'm not chosen. And so Dino feeds off this energy that I'm suddenly giving off, this energy of desperation, of neediness, of trying to double text and triple text them. And that energy is not so attractive. And Dino starts to get busier at work, probably doesn't even understand why, but prefers to go to work than to spend the time with me, say, prefers not to text me straight away, and in fact starts to distance themselves, and then the relationship breaks down. Now, contrary to that, me and Dino have broken up, and Stitch has come along full of charm and having had the best life, or at least having a different, more empowering concept of self, is wearing the glasses of being chosen, of being adored, feels very stable and safe in relationships. So when Dino and Stitch get together and Dino mentions exactly the same thing, got this job opportunity, I might travel more, I might be more in demand at work, Stitch is like, yay, great. Because Stitch is not perceiving that as I'm not chosen, I'm not good enough. Stitch is too busy focused on all the dates that him and Dino have been on, all the words of love that Dino has given to Stitch. So Stitch is reveling in that and actually feeling quite confident. And Stitch is like, oh, Stitch is like, through these glasses of life, Stitch is like, yeah, this is great, congratulations, because I see your success as my success. I'm not going to see the business that you're working in as a third party as an obstacle. I'm going to see it as, this is fantastic, an investment into our future. You're going to make more money. You're going to treat me better. Do you get me? And so when we're manifesting a different version of our specific person, I'm not changing this person. What I'm essentially doing is thank you very much, Stitch. I'm going to borrow these glasses and I'm going to put them on myself. And now I experience and see lovely Dino a different way. Oh my God, now I don't feel so... Dino didn't text me straight away, but I'm not feeling threatened by that because I know they love me. I know they're going to text me because now I'm solid and secure. Now I'm not afraid of abandonment. Now I'm feeling chosen. And so because I'm remembering as well that I'm chosen in all areas of my life. So Dino's like drawn back into this. And now the dynamic of the relationship is healthy. And that's why so many of you can manifest the ideal version of your SP, or you manifest your specific person back. But you see, many people do struggle to keep the relationship because they don't change their glasses. You see, if I have the glasses of lack, of doubt, of anxiety, of not being good enough, not being chosen, I am going to see things as obstacles and adversaries. But if I'm wearing the glasses of confidence, of being loved, of knowing where I stand, then I reveal a universe that is brimming with the possibilities of life, and everything is going to be my ally, working in my favor. Do you guys get it? Do you get it? Did that make sense? So the issue is, everyone, that a lot of you are wearing glasses dirtier than a pub toilet mirror after a Saturday night, smudged with your own BS and your past baggage. And no wonder everything looks like crap right now, you know? And this is what we do. And then, of course, we perpetuate the same pattern. Like I say, dating the same person with a different face, or maybe it's at work. You're encountering the same sort of colleagues or people in authority that treat you perhaps disrespectfully, less than favorable. So this is why we say that your perception shapes your experience of reality and therefore changes them. But maybe some of you are actually struggling to see how that's going to change your person. You know, it's like, okay, I'll change my glasses, I'll alter my view, but how is that going to bring them back or get me my raise or make us have a harmonious friendship, get over that past argument? How is it going to influence other people? And that is a very excellent question. So stay with me. I am going to share more. Are you still with me on this, by the way? You still got this? Have another sip of your drink, because it's a lot of information to take in. And I might even do a sort of masterclass, long sort of workshop for a select few who are serious about doing this. And I'll take you through in immense detail if you're interested. But cheers. Give yourself and your mind a little bit of a break. Continue to take these notes, because now I'm going to go into the psychology element here, as you know, because I love to do that. I love to introduce the psychological aspect because it's helped me so much, and also because it's a way for my ego mind to accept this. This is why I find it so much more effortless. In fact, to me, manifesting specific people has always been one of the easier things. It can be emotional roller coaster, but certainly I found that easier than, say, health anxiety. For me, I think we all have something that is we struggle with a little bit, and the health stuff has always been the scarier element for me. And really everything is exactly the same. But I want you to see, with relation to people, because a lot of you feel like it's harder with people because they've got their own minds, they've got their own wills, separation. Now in psychology, there's something called the Pygmalion effect. People will rise or fall to match the expectations that others have of them. You might want to actually look that up. It's the wise words of Goethe. He said that if you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as he were what he ought to be, as though he were what he ought to be, then he will become what he ought to and could be. That's sort of ad-libbing. I know I didn't quote that word for word, but it's absolutely true. You see, I did that with my very, very first SP, who, as many of you know the story, he struggled with addiction, right? He wasn't great boyfriend material at the time that we were dating. Started off okay, but unfortunately the addictions took over. You see, I wasn't feeling chosen. So in my life, it gave me an experience of a relationship where drugs were chosen over me, for example. So through me perceiving him, remember what I said, how I manifested him and how I got the ideal version to appear. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an overnight change. You know, I'm always honest with you guys. But I kept on perceiving what I knew he could be. And even when he returned, of course, he wasn't healed when he returned to me. He didn't come like this knight in shining armor and everything was fantastic. I was part of his bridge of healing. But I just kept seeing past. And this time, because I kept seeing past to the ideal version of him, I laid off him. I wasn't harassing him to try and quit drugs. I wasn't on his case about it. I wasn't doing anything. I actually took a step back and I let him carry on, because in my mind, I knew and I accepted that he was going to quit. And one day, just like that, he was like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to get help. And it changed absolutely everything. So by changing the way that you perceive someone, you are tapping into the interconnectedness of our shared experience, and you're allowing them to reveal their best selves, not just to you, but in general. And it's because you decide to see them differently, because you decide. No one has any free will in your reality. You decide how you wish to see anybody. If you want to see someone as a legend, you will see them as such. If you want to see someone as a pain in the butt, you will see them as such. You will judge people based on your experiences, on your perception of the world. We all do it. Everyone is self-pushed out, so we'll have those judgments, but that's not who the person is. That's my version of the person that I'm seeing. I'm seeing myself pushed out onto them, essentially. So now I want to see the alternative version as well, because everything, all the states exist within. I mean, you guys know it too, right? How many of you know someone who is a narcissist? I think that label gets brandished around so much right now. It's like a popular phrase. Everyone is a narcissist. But the narcissist, say you could be encountering the side that is manipulative, that is gaslighting you, that is bullying you. But other people, I know of narcissists, like other people are just like, Coco's having sleep dreams. That's him barking in his sleep. Oh, you sweet baby. Isn't it adorable? Does anyone else have dogs that do that? I love it. So the narcissist, though, will have people that think he's really charming. I know someone like that, like his friends, family. He is charming, he is educated, he comes across so well, he would help anyone in a heartbeat. The version that they're experiencing is something completely different. But the version you might be experiencing might be the one who's a bit of a manipulator or abusive, whatever. See, every version of every person exists now. Which side are you revealing to yourself will determine what sort of energy you're giving off, will determine then how they show up for you. Are you giving off that desperate energy? Are you looking for all the negative? That means you're going to end up putting a wall up, and instead of being drawn in, they're going to be more and more pushed away. We've all been there, haven't we? It's much like if you're looking into quantum theory and that double slit experiment as well. You know how scientists found that particles acted differently when they were observed? Well, observation, in that sense, influenced reality at a quantum level. That's what we're essentially saying. And Dr. David Bohm, who's a pioneer in quantum mechanics, actually suggested that, and you've all heard this before too, that the universe is holographic, right? So if it's holographic, then that's kind of stating that our consciousness, it isn't just passively observing reality, it's actively shaping it. So where is your awareness right now? Because then you're shaping the reality, and if you keep doing that, you will reveal a whole new side to it. That's how manifestation works. Non-duality as well, like I've said earlier, teaches that there's no separation. As Einstein even noted himself, and I've quoted it before, that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And when you grasp that, the fact that this is just an illusion, a simulation, a game, you've heard it all before, at the fundamental level, if you grasp that, then by changing yourself, you know that you are inevitably changing the world and influencing the world and people in it all around you. Do you get me? Are you ready for your 5 steps to help you to reveal the ideal version of anyone? And can I just raise something here as well? Just because we have the power to do this doesn't mean that you should go around trying to fix and see the ideal of everyone, especially if it comes at the cost of your own mental well-being. I'm not going to stay, for example, in an abusive relationship and trying to see the ideal version of this person while still putting up with a very bad negative situation. I will still take myself away from it. I'll perceive things differently and then reveal it that way from the safety of a distance. Or I will just be like, thank you very much. This abusive person served a purpose in my bridge. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let them go, right? So it's not about fixing everybody. I just wanted to push that out there. So are you ready to swap your distorted lens for the ones that reveal the true nature of your reality, or reveal the reality that you deserve to live? Then here we go. So step number 1, the most important step of anything actually, is self-awareness. I want you to start to pay attention to what lens you're wearing. Start to recognize the stories that you've been telling yourself about, well, yourself and about others, and the relationship you have. You know, is it limiting beliefs that you have? Are a lot of these beliefs borrowed from your past disappointments, from your childhood? Maybe it's time to set or reset, press the reset button, I should say. Press the reset button on those beliefs, because they're no longer serving you. And there'll be numerous ways to do that. Let's go into it a bit more. Step 2, release preconceptions. Drop the baggage. So you want to think of it like you're just shedding this heavy backpack of limiting beliefs, of all relationships I get in, leave me, men can't be trusted, women always cheat, bosses never respect me, family members call me the black sheep. Like, just drop the heavy backpack of limitations. Let go of the labels that no longer serve you with this narcissist and avoidant attachments. And I've heard all sorts of labels that you've attached to yourself and to other people. You need to let go of those because they're so limiting. And you need to remember that hard definitions like that are going to create hard experiences. They're going to be harder to change. Labeling less means that you've got more freedom to embrace the possibilities of transformation. I don't sit there going, okay, once a cheat, always a cheat. Once an addict, always an addict. Like, this is so limiting, and it puts us in a position of powerlessness, which is what society loves to do. So let's take your power back. Ready? Step 3. Visualize the positive interactions. So you want to craft now your inner world, because remember, like I've said before, that hermetic principle of everything is mind, the universe is mental. It's mental, right? Everything starts within the mind. From what you're going to have for dinner tomorrow, you've already thought of it before it's even appeared on your plate, right? Everything starts within. So you want to now start to imagine more uplifting encounters with the people that you have in mind. See yourself and others in a harmonious collaboration, whatever that might be. Because manifestation isn't about changing people and manipulating them and forcing them, love me, you've got to like me, whatever. It's about changing your inner state so profoundly, changing your inner world so profoundly that you're no longer dependent on the outside world to confirm it for you. That's how sure you are of your inner self and who you are. I'm not dependent on the outer confirmation, but also the outer reality has no choice but to follow, but to bend to my will. So imagine that ideal outcome. If it's your boss, perhaps he's congratulating you on all your hard work, and that's what you're imagining. Perhaps if it's your partner, you're feeling yourself in a loving embrace, or what it's like to be in that loving, committed relationship. But really pay attention to embodying that, going into it with imagination. And if you're stuck with imagination, I've got that extensive guide on the various ways you can imagine, no matter how your mind is geared, whether it's you want to label yourself with like autism, ADHD, OCD, all the ways, aphantasia, we can all imagine. You might want to watch that video. Then we go on to number 4, is it? I don't know why I do these lists, because I always forget which number I'm at. Maybe I should have like a little checklist to remind me. Wow, don't you just love that I don't edit these things out? Getting the raw deal, guys. Number 4, let's adjust your inner dialogue. Now, I've done a video on this before as well about how inner conversations are so powerful. I have to find that my inner conversations manifest most effective, even more than my visual acts sometimes. But your words create worlds. We've all done it at some point. When you're frustrated with someone, or at least you're perceiving someone in a negative fashion, or perceiving a conversation with them in a negative way, you'll find yourself having arguments with that person. I know I've done it before, over and over again in the shower. I wish I would have said that, and these are the things I would have said, this is what I would do differently. Or just because you're feeling upset and frustrated with that person, you'll just be arguing with them generally anyway. So what you want to do, because when you're doing that, you're essentially keeping the past alive. You're keeping that old story going over and over again. You're reliving it, you're experiencing it. So how about you replace now that criticism with curiosity? Replace the doubt with the possibility. Because everyone can be better, everyone can be different, right? Everyone's got the capacity to change. You're not the same person that you were 2 months ago or a year ago. So why is that person going to be the same? We're all capable of making mistakes, of acting in ways that are not typically us. So compassion and understanding is important. And that goes for yourself too. You want to talk to yourself like you would do to someone you love. Always stop being harsh on yourself, because guess what? You're the only one who's going to be with yourself every step of the way. That's the most important relationship you need to nurture, is a relationship you have with yourself. And then through that, I want you to then engage in inner conversations whereby you're interacting with that particular person. Like I say, you're boss, your family member, your specific person for love, it doesn't matter. But you're interacting with that person on a level that you wish to see them as. And you're always presenting that person to yourself in imagination in the way that you would like to see, in the way that you'd like to see them as their ideal self. You're doing that, you're rewiring your mind to the fact that I've had this experience, and you step into the state of the person that has that more harmonious outcome, that more empowering outcome, because I'm not going to be a victim to someone else's BS and nonsense or bad behavior. I'm going to empower myself right now. And that's what you're doing. Everything you're doing is for yourself. Do you get that now? Remember, every version of everyone exists, including every version of you. And you make the change because you decide. You decide to. It's as simple as that. You make the choice. Now, number 5, embrace the empathy. We're all of us are one, and we're all made of fluff. We've all had different lives, different upbringings, different perceptions of the world. We have different ways of dealing with stress and anxiety, some of which some might find offensive because it's not the way that they would do it. There's no wrong or right. But just remember, beneath the surface of it all, we're all the same. We're all seeking the same sorts of things: to be loved, to be accepted, a sense of purpose. So approach others knowing that you share this at the very core of it. And it will make you understand others more as well. That's how I tend to work too. And it's so much better than holding the shackles of judgment, of stress, of feeling like everything and everyone is out of your control. It's just, you're doing this all for yourself, like I say. You're empowering yourself. You're stepping into your power in all of this. You're showing yourself that the outer world is not going to mold me and affect me. I affect it. I bend reality to my will. And I have influence over others in my world. So I decide, I choose. That person has no choice how I choose to see them. And I better ensure that the way that I choose to see them is a way that always empowers me and puts me back in the driver's seat. That's what it's all about. I hope that this helped you guys out. Like I say, I might consider down the line doing some more detailed, perhaps private workshops where we can do a Q&A or something afterwards as well, if this is popular enough. But I wanted to share as much as I could. You know, I don't paywall any of this information. It's all for you because I want you to utilize it. This is what gets so much success with you guys. And it's not all that, the concept of it is simple enough, isn't it? I know emotionally it can seem difficult, it can seem trying, but you all have the capacity to do it. You've all been doing this all along. So have a bit of faith in yourself. Come and join us on the Discord community. It's a wealth of information, weekly workshops on there, and people are absolutely thriving with the amount of support that they're getting. Come be part of the collective community. You're already part of the family here. I love and appreciate all of you for all your support, as always, and I'll see you in the next video.